¿Qué pasa? I'm right here, a brand new different space. I am in my magic corner, sort of say, here in a different flat, in a different house. This is not a flat, this is a house. I've got here all of the different advertisements, different notices, posters, let's say, from all of the different shows that I have performed. I think that this could be a very nice video to talk to you about all of the different shows, the things that I love about those shows and the things that I regret. The second list would be much longer than the first one, but today we are here because we are going to talk about tables, one of my secret obsessions when talking about magic and magic shows in cabaret stage situations. I have here the collection of all of the tables that I have used to perform at birthday parties, weddings, first Holy Communions, which is a market that here in Spain is quite popular. I'm going to talk about that in another video. In theaters, in different venues, in hotels. I'm going to talk to you about all of the different tables that I have used and how each one has certain advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one. Okay, so this thing here is a roll-on table. This is the very first table that I started performing with. I remember having been saving for the longest time to be able to buy this little puppy right here. It cost me around 300 or 350 euros, and it is this little thing, so cute, right, with my name. It's attached here with Velcro because this table came with a felt finish. Some roll-on tables, you buy them and you have them like in a wood finish, but this one came with a black felt, and you simply fold them over. This design is based on a cigarette pack. You fold it like that. You have a couple of security latches right here. Hello, I'm here. You close it here, this here, and there is right here, in the same place where my name was, a little handle. You take it and you can carry this away. Problems of this setup. Oh, sorry, another table. Problems of this setup. It is extremely heavy, extremely big. My mom's car, which was the car that I used when I was a kid to go from show to show, fit perfectly this roll-on table and the speaker that I was using. That is much bigger than the speaker that I currently use. But this is extremely big, and I've never had a show, I have never in my life had a show so prop-based, with so much props, so many props, that I needed something this big. I was carrying around something this big, and then I was performing like a rope routine, Professor's Nightmare, SpongeBob routine, things that you can carry in your pockets, right? So the only reason why I bought this and I was going around from show to show with a thing like that, basically was that I started performing with a case that I'm going to show you in about a second, a case that I put on top of a traveling case, and it was very unstable. In one show the case fell over with all of the tricks inside, and I was like, this is not happening again. And I searched online for the most badass table that I could find, and I fell in love with this one. But being honest and being practical, I don't need that much space to fit my show. Okay, let's take a look on the inside, because if you take a look, here we have the handle, and if we open this up, here and here, you can see that once you open this up, you can see that we have in here three main compartments. A big compartment in the bottom here, we have here a chicken, maybe. A small compartment here in the middle, I use this for jumble decks, things like that. And a big compartment here. Once this is open, the first compartment is extremely big. Okay, something that Paul Daniels says in his DVD bravura about this kind of tables is that it looks very unprofessional to be in the middle of the show and say, oh, I need something, and having to bend over like I am a magician, I am so powerful, but I have to take something, and it's like, and I need to bend over. So that's another reason. And this first part right here is extremely big when this is open, right? But when you have to close it, this portion right here must be basically empty, because if it is not, you cannot fold this thing, you cannot close it. So yeah, it's a very big table. If you are a magician that has a very proper show with a lot of things, this is great. It's not, from my point of view, it's not very comfortable to carry around because it's difficult to roll, and I changed the wheels on this thing. The wheels, I had to change it because the wheels that came with this were very, very bad. I changed the wheels. The handle is a pain in the hand because it's very difficult to carry, and it is so thick that when you carry you have to go like on your side, because it's not like a briefcase that is flat. So yeah, I think that this thing right here for me has more disadvantages than advantages. But having said so, this table has given me a lot of good moments, a lot of good experiences, and a lot of shows. And that's basically what it's all about. Let's take a look at the next table. Okay, the next table I have to show you is this one right here, and this is a keyboard stand, okay? I remember precisely, and this is very easy to carry, oh my god, I remember precisely the very first time that I tried this in cahoots with this case that has been around my house many years. I think that this case was the case for a trick from Oid Magic, you know, like the retail tricks for kids and all that stuff, and I think that a magic kit came in this case, and I fell in love with these kind of cases. So I remember precisely that the very first time that I quit using the roll-on table and I started using the keyboard stand, which was truly a keyboard stand because I play a little bit of the piano, a little bit of keyboard, so I said, let's try this. And I tried this with that case and it worked perfectly, and I realized that even with a case this big, I still have room to spare. So the thing that I love about this keyboard stand is that to lock it, you don't need to twist anything. This is like a pressure thing. You just open like this and it locks, right? If you want to make it a little bit wider, you just have to pull this out, open up a little bit more, and latch onto the next hole or something like that. In my case, to use it with this suitcase right here, I just need the shortest opening. So it is great because you are like this, you simply go and the first hole locks in and you are set. I have this here. I love these rubber rings that are on top, that these are used basically to lock the keyboard in place and avoid the keyboard from moving. And what I did is putting here the suitcase, making sure that it was pressed down by the rubber rings, like that, acting as a stop. And it is pretty stable, and I love to use this as a table. When I was using the roll-on table and when I was using this, I never had a routine that I did here, okay? Because the roll-on table and this table are a little bit too tall for me to do a routine. If I had to do chop cup, this would be extremely tall for me, extremely tall to do a chop cup routine, and to do a load like this is quite difficult. But it is a very nice height for a normal cabaret show. It's great. And something very interesting, this case has 4 pieces of Velcro on the sides of the lid, so I could take this beautiful little thing, this banner with my name, and press it down here, and we are ready to start the show. Okay, so that's basically it. And the very first time, I was telling the story and I completely forgot. The very first time when I tried this system, this setup, was the second year that I was performing in a very big shopping center mall chain here in Spain called El Corte Inglés. The name that means the English court. It would be nonsense for you, but the English court is basically the name of this shopping center mall company. I was performing a Christmas show for them in different shopping centers that they have here in this area. And the second year I said, I am tired of going around with this. I am going to change. I'm going to try to make a show that fits inside this case. And it was the best thing that I ever did. So this is the second setup that I show, and this setup has been with me for a lot of years. I would say that roughly the same amount of years that I was using that one. And I feel very, very proud of this. And moreover, I feel very, very proud of me, if I can say it, for committing and for taking risks. It's like I was extremely afraid. I remember that the night before of the show, I couldn't even sleep. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to walk there with just a suitcase and a keyboard stand. That's not professional. And when I did the show, everyone was laughing as usual, everyone was amazed as usual. So it's a very good experiment to do, to realize that it is all about you, not about your tricks, your props, or your tables. It's all about you. Let's take a look at the next table I have. Okay, next table coming up for you. This is the table, or let's say tables, that I am using currently. These are tripods, and they are speaker stands. These are stands for speakers, and the thing that they have on top is like a board, tabletop for projectors, right? So I simply bought this all together. It comes together, but the base, you can read in the description where I bought this, that they are stands for speakers. So it is great if the stands get a little bit damaged. This is a little bit damaged. Tip: if there is a little bit of black paint missing, you take a little bit of a Sharpie marker or anything like that, and you make a little bit of a stain, a black stain, and it helps to minimize the effect, the dirtiness in the metal. So I bought this together, and as I was saying, if this gets damaged, it's great to simply buy another speaker stand that is this same width, and this top is going to fit perfectly, right? I have three tables like this, and in my current show I use two tables, one with my case, one with a collapsible box like this one, and the third one I use it without the top to put my speaker on high. And it is great because it gives cohesion to the show. It's like, I don't really like it when I go to a show and you can see like 3 or 4 different types of tables that had no connection in between. They have no relation in between. I hate that. So this is the table, this is the tripod. It's much lower than the roll-on table and than the keyboard stand, but that's great. It's about here, about waistline, about here, and this is great to do a card demonstration in close-up. It is great to do chop cup routine, things like that. And this is not the case that I use currently. It's in my other flat. This is the old suitcase, but I feel that the suitcase is very stable here, pretty stable. And as I tell you, at my right I have the case with all of the things inside with the table. In the other table I have the collapsible box, sometimes empty to dump things, and sometimes with other bits there. And the third tripod is simply to hold my speaker. So I have like a tabletop that I rarely ever use. If I am performing in a very big venue and they provide me the sound system and I want to really feel the stage, I perform with 3 tables, okay? But I never found that situation happening yet, and I think that it won't happen, because I think that 2 tables is more than enough for a cabaret show or things like that, from my point of view, right? I sometimes feel that if you really feel the stage with a lot of things that later you are not going to use, you are more or less fooling the audience. So I love having the 3 tables just in case, but for now I only use 2 and the speaker stand, okay? And this case right here can open up pretty quickly. It's great. As I told you, it's not the case that I normally use. This case, I only use it nowadays to store my gags. All I've got in here are gags and jokes, okay? And in a future video, if you want, I can show you how I store my tricks to know where I've got everything. Everything is stored because of theme. Everything is stored related to the theme, so all I've got here are gags, things to make people laugh and all that stuff. So yeah, I think there is not a lot more to say about this. Something that is very interesting is that I use them in their lowest setting. You can make this like 2 meters or more high, so these are very versatile. You can use this as a table, as a speaker stand. If you place this very high, you can use it as something to hang a prediction or something like that. Sometimes, like doing theater performances or things like that, if I want to use this as a hanger to hang clothes and hats and things like that, you can do it. Because the center, I can show you, the center part of this, let me see if I can, I don't normally do this, so it's very difficult to do. The center section has holes. I don't know if you can see the holes. Yeah, you can see a hole right there. Has holes. Those holes are to put like a little metal stick there, a little metal piece, to make sure that the speaker is not going to fall down. It's like a secure system. So sometimes I have taken off the top of the table, put it extremely high, and inside those holes I jam chopsticks, wooden chopsticks, and then I can hang scarves, shirts, you know, light pieces of clothing. And it is great to create like the atmosphere of a living room or something like that. So this is extremely versatile, it's heavy duty, nothing is going to happen, and right now it's my choice when I am performing, traveling by car. If I have to travel like in a train or by plane and I have to carry something a little bit more compact, I have this next idea. Okay guys, and this is the last table that I'm going to show you. I'm extremely excited to show you this because I think that I have never seen a magician with an idea like this. It's quite probable that someone thought about something similar because I think it's a very intelligent idea to be just mine. So let me show you. This is the table that I use when I'm traveling around and I want to have a very tight package with the table, the box, and all the tricks. I normally use this backpack. This is the backpack that I used when I was studying in high school, so yeah, it smells like high school. Oh my god, the sound. And this is where I got it. The table is on top of a stool. This stool I bought from IKEA, and I also have used this stool as a table sometimes in some shows, but it is a pain in the butt to carry around because it's the size that it has. It's impossible to make it smaller or anything like that. This table I really love. It's a small table, but it gets the job done, and when you are traveling around by plane or things like that, it's great to have in your carry-on, your whole show, and the table. I would love to do a video showing you how to pack a carry-on show and things like that. Those are things that I love. I geek more about tables and management and organization of tricks than about magic or methods in itself. So I've got here this stand, this box, this collapsible box. I love this collapsible box. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in a second. And then I have a handkerchief as kind of a cloth or something like that. And then this is basically a board, a wood board that you use in the kitchen to prepare food, and a drum stand, a snare drum stand. I love percussion. I play quite often drums and things like that, and this is something that I had lying around at my house, and I discovered that if instead of putting here a drum, you place a wooden round thing, you have a table, a short table, but it is a great table. If you make this a little bit loose, you can open up the 3 legs that are on top and you release the board, and the board has nothing. You don't have to glue here or attach here a flange or something like that. This is just a normal board, and you can take a look at this closer. This is a snare drum stand. These are extremely cheap. I bought this one for like 40 euros a long time ago, something like that. And these are the 3 legs that you make tighter, rolling this thing like this. You roll them and they are loose, and now they are tight, so you can change the top. And something that I love about this is that some magicians may think, Antonio, but if you had a normal tripod with a connection, only 1 leg at the top with 1 strong connection like a bolt or something like that, this pack smaller because you have here 3 legs on top. This is very bulky, and that's true, that's completely true. But this has a great advantage, and the advantage is that I can turn anything into a table. I can take a rectangular board, put it here, 2 legs on the front, 1 leg on the back, make them tight, and now I have a rectangular table. Sometimes I have placed here one of my cases. I don't have the case here with me, I will show you in future videos, but I have like a small vintage looking case, and I can put this case right in between these legs, 2 in the front, 1 in the back, and the case automatically turns into a table without having to make anything or change anything in the suitcase. So this is extremely great, and let me show you how this packs. This middle section, you put it down, the legs as a normal tripod you put it up, you close the legs, and something that I always use is I leave the bolt to make the top part tighter or looser. I always make this leave this nut in the same place, so I don't have to twist it a lot every time I have to make the table. And now this connection right here in the middle, you just make this loose like that, and you fold this over. So this is the space that it takes, right? This can fit perfectly in one of the compartments in the backpack, with the tabletop, with the collapsible box, with something as a cloth, and with some tricks even, and it is great. And it takes just a matter of seconds to set up. A very interesting tip that I would love to give you is every time that you finish a show and you start packing, and you start, if you use tables like these, tripods and all the stuff, it's quite typical that you press very hard all of the connection, all of the nuts, you press them very hard, like to make sure that the table is going to stand a lot of pressure, is going to be sturdy, right? But something that a lot of magicians do is press also extremely hard all of the connections when you are packing the show. And that for me is a waste of time, because once the table is folded, it doesn't matter if the connections are very strong or very loose, it's going to go inside the bag. So when I fold this table, or any table that I use, the tripod is the only table that folds. So I never make extremely tight the connection of the legs of the other tripod, because I don't need to. When I arrive to the show, I only have to open the legs and they automatically open because the connection is loose. And then I make it tighter because I need the legs to be tight during the show, but I don't need the legs to be tight when they are packed, because they go inside the car and nothing is happening to them. So that's a tip that I think is interesting and saves me a lot of time. You don't know the amount of times that I've been before a show, try to open the legs and it's, oh my god, who on earth made this so hard? And it's like me, yeah, when I finish the show I am so excited, like, oh my god, what a great show, let me close this. And the AND-TONIO of the future cannot make it loose. So nice little tip. And something very interesting that I wanted to show you here with the table, so I am setting it up one more time. As you see, I left the legs, the knot here, more or less in the same position, so just by tighten it up just a little bit, I am in the same position. And something that I love about this stand is that the 3 legs right here, these 3 legs right here that are pressing down the top, these 3 legs have the perfect distance because of the board to place this collapsible box in between. Okay, I have these 2 legs in front, this leg here, I call them legs, right? The legs are here, this is the top, but I basically call them legs. This leg is on the top, making sure that this is not going to fall, and the other 2 are on the front, making sure that I have space here if I want to place here like a prediction, like that, in the front of the box, tilted like that, lay here, is great. Once you add the cloth, it looks very professional. And I've had some magicians, some friends of mine, that say that it is good, it is a good solution, but they don't like these little bumps that the legs create. You can see some little bumps here that the legs create, and that's very true. And something that you can do about that is put the board in this stand, but aligned the edge of the board with the edge of the legs. It's quite difficult to do. You align all of the edges and you press down a little bit more the legs, so now you avoid this problem. If you take a look at this, now the board is not inside this little bend that the arm has. The board is just held by the very side of the leg, right? So now if you cover this, you are going to have a completely flat top, right? Because there are no pieces of legs around the board. The only problem that this has is that it is not a very strong base. If you are simply going to place here this box and you are going to put here things that are not very heavy, it's okay. But if you are going to do, for example, a chop cup routine or a bottle production and you are going to smack the chop cup or put a bottle, this is very dangerous because they are just, the board is just held by the very side of the legs. If you go like this, it automatically falls. These two legs have given in, you see? And now we are in the same position as we were before. Okay guys, so this is everything that I wanted to share with you about the tables that I have used. Roll-on table, keyboard stand, the tripods, the speaker stands, and the snare drum. I feel very, very proud of all of my choices of tables. They all have given me a lot of flight time, a lot of experiences, some good ones and some bad ones. You learn from them both. You learn way more from the bad experiences. So I hope you really found this information useful, and I will see you in the near future.